All right, guys. Today we're going to talk about permits. Making sure y'all know how to run a permitted load correctly, legally, safely, and efficiently. First things first, you have to light, banner, and flag your truck, trailer, and load. So let's talk about it. You're going to put 2 flags on the front of the truck. Okay? Doesn't really matter how you put them on there. A lot of people will fasten them to the mirrors, the hood mirrors, the grill guard. Doesn't really matter. Figure out what works best for you and your truck. The next thing is you're going to banner the front of your truck. Do not cover up your license plate. Okay? Don't do it. You'll get in trouble. I don't care how you banner that truck. Make sure you banner it correctly and do not block your license plate. Next thing is you're going to put flags on your trailer. 2 flags. You can have them standing up at an angle. Doesn't really matter. Some people put them straight out. Figure out which works best for you and your truck and your trailer, and flag that trailer. The very end. Okay? Next, you're going to put a banner at the back end of your trailer. Sometimes you can put them on the load, depending on how the load is and wide and all that bunch of stuff. Find out what works best for you and banner it. Normally I run it to where the bottom bungee cords are at the DOT bumper and the top ones go up to the rub rail. Figure out what works best for you. Then you're going to put flags on the corners of your load. The actual wide part that is sticking out, you're going to put 2 flags at the front, 2 flags at the back. If you have enough flags and it's a big enough load, put some in the middle. That's fine. You're not going to get in trouble for that. So you're going to flag the truck, banner the truck, flag the trailer, banner the trailer. Then you're going to flag the load. Okay? The 2 worst states that you can drive through, New York and Indiana. So what I recommend to everybody is you light your truck to where you're legal in New York and Indiana. Indiana states and New York states that you have to have lights 360 degrees that can be seen from 360 degrees. It doesn't matter where you are on that truck. You can see a yellow flashing caution light. It can be strobing, flashing, rotating. It doesn't matter. So lights on top, lights on the trailer, you should be good. If y'all want to get some extra lights, put them in the dash. That's up to you. Whatever. Blinking lights that are magnetic that can go on the trailer, that's fine too. What I recommend on the securement of your oversized load, it doesn't matter if you're tall, heavy, wide. Okay? And this should really be done on every load. Over secure. If you're hauling an excavator, and that excavator, you put 4 points of contact, 4 corners, plus you have to do the boom. Depending on how heavy that is, I would also do from the anchor points on the actual chassis. It's way better to be over secured than under secured, because you pull into a weigh station and you've got a bad strap. You've got a bad chain that they can actually measure the thickness of that 3/8 chain or that 5/16 chain. And if it's below a certain percentage that it's rusted off or whatever, they will pull that piece of securement out of the equation. So what that means is if you did the bare minimum and you only did 4 points plus the boom on an excavator, and they take one of those chains out, now you're undersecured. Now you're out of service. You've gotten a ticket. It's not worth it. If you oversecure every load and you have a bad chain, you have a bad strap, whatever, they're going to take one of those out. But now because you're oversecured, you're not going to get a fine. You're not going to get a ticket. You're not going to get put out of service. So, oversecure. Plus, when you pull through that weigh station, because remember, you're oversized. You pull into every weigh station. Now, I don't care what the lights say outside, unless they're closed and there is a sign that says closed, you pull into that weigh station. You pull into that weigh station and they're going to be looking at you. And if they see that you're oversecured and that your lights and banners are correct, most of the time they're going to leave you alone. And isn't that the goal? You want to keep driving. You want to get that load delivered. You want to get onto your next load. You want to make as much money possible as that week. This doesn't just go for my company. This goes for truck driving, period. So if you're oversecured and you got the correct lights, the correct banners, flags are important. Always carry extra flags. They're going to leave you alone. I've never had a problem being oversized going through a weigh station. Don't forget, you have to go into every weigh station. Second thing, or third thing, follow your permitted routes. I get phone calls after phone calls after phone calls of people that just put the route in their GPS, and they put their oversize in their GPS, and they expect it to be the same route from the state that it is on your GPS, and it's not. It is not. It is not. I'm going to put it up on the screen and explain to y'all here in a little bit what a route looks like on a permit. Now, some states, and I will show you this on the screen too, will offer GPS audible guidance. I will show you that here in a few minutes too. Hours of operation. You need to read your permit. Your permit will tell you, according to your size, how many hours you can run. They won't tell you how many hours. They will tell you you can run sunset or sunrise to sunset. They will tell you 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after. You can run continuous movement. It all depends on your size and what state you're in. So, special conditions. Most states have what they call special conditions. And what that is that is a blanket rule, sheet of rules on a piece of paper or a couple, 2 or 3 sheets of paper that go over everything. And it goes over hours of service, it goes over flighting, flagging, bannering, all that stuff. But it also goes through what days you can run. If it's a holiday weekend, say it's 4th of July, and say you're in Missouri, and 4th of July happens to run on a Monday, okay? Well, that's well and good. You can't drive, I believe it's past noon on Saturday. You have to stop at noon, and then you're going to be off Sunday. You're going to be off Monday, and then you can drive on Tuesday. That's in the special conditions. Some holidays, it doesn't matter. President's Day doesn't matter. Valentine's Day doesn't matter. Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July, Labor Day's the big, I think it's 7. The big holidays are no driving holidays. Some states, again, in the special conditions, you can't drive on Sunday. I think West Virginia is one of them. You can't drive on Sunday, period, if you're oversized. So, this video, like I said, is going to be short, sweet, to the point. Follow your permit. If you do everything the permit says, you're going to be good. Going to be good. That's all there is to it. No problems. So let's take a look at a permit on the screen, and I will walk y'all through what y'all need to know. Okay, guys, you can see here, if you see my mouse, Illinois Department of Transportation. So this is an oversized overweight permit. This is what they look like. Okay, so you're going to run down here. First thing you're going to do, you're going to make sure your license plate's correct. You're going to make sure your VIN number is correct. You're going to make sure your commodity is correct. Your dispatcher should have asked you for measurements, overall length, width, height. Sometimes they're going to want kingpin to the last axle, trailer length. Sometimes they're going to want axle spacings. Okay. So this is what I want to talk about. This is your route, okay? And what it starts right here, I'm going to highlight it right here. It says go on I-57, and then it has a mileage in parentheses, and that's saying 95.8 miles. And then you're going to, at exit 96, keep left on I-64 west towards St. Louis. You're going to be on that for 66 miles. You can see how these go. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole thing to you, but some states have this right here, this audible route guidance. And you can see right here, it says Pro Miles Permit Guidance application can be downloaded from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store from your mobile device. Now, you can do that on a tablet. You can do that on your phone. Download that app and then scan this QR code right here, and it will give you the route. If you have the route, you can compare it to the permitted instructions right here on the permit. It's going to be right. The way I do it in my truck is I have a tablet for my permits. I have a tablet for a secondary GPS. I have a tablet for my ELD. Sometimes I'll run another tablet for weather radar, whatever. One thing you have to look at the special conditions on, we talked about special conditions a while ago, is it will tell you inclement weather. Inclement weather, you cannot drive. Now, what's the definition of inclement weather? Well, that is subject to interpretation. Most permits state in the conditions or the special conditions that if it is slippery, the roadway is slippery due to ice, rain, snow, that is inclement weather. Some states, Oklahoma for one, will in fact void your permit for high wind. Inclement weather. We can't control that. So, that is what a permit looks like. That is how you, a quick explanation of how you do permits, how you stay legal with permits. Another thing you got to look at, guys, is if you're wide, normally a legal load is 8 foot 6 inches wide. Now you're running down the road at 14.6, 16.6, 12 foot. You can't drive the way you do on a normal load. You just cannot do it. You have to look out for each other. You have to look out for everybody that's passing you. You have to look out for everybody you're passing. Don't be one of those drivers trying to pass another oversized load on a 2-lane highway. Come on. You're not in a hurry. Permit loads should not be a timed load. They should not be giving you a definite got to be there by, unless it's a crane unload. And then usually there's a window. When in doubt, schedule it for the next day. Do not get in a hurry. Do not rush it. Over secure. Follow your permitted route. Make sure you stop at every way station. Make sure your flags, your banners, your lights are correct. Make sure you know what hours of the day you can drive. Like I said, some of them are sunrise to sunset. Some of them are 30 minutes before. Some of them are 30 minutes after. And some of them are continuous movement, which continuous movement means that you can drive at night. Now, sometimes they will say continuous movement if you have certain lights extruding from the load, flashing red lights, flashing yellow lights, mounted to the load, not just the truck. So, that's up to you. You have to go out and buy those lights. You have to get them acquired somehow or another. Special conditions. I recommend everybody reads the entire permit before you start driving. Instead of stopping at that truck stop and lounging around for 10 hours, break out your permits and read them before you go to bed. That way you know, hey, I remember this state tomorrow I'm going through. I've got to do something special. California, I cannot get out of the right lane no matter what happens. There can be an earthquake and the hole could open up, but you can't get out of that right-handed lane. Pay attention to your permits. If you have questions, call somebody that knows. Call your dispatcher. Call your driver coach. Whatever you need to do. Be safe. Be productive. But do these permits right. Y'all have a good day.